Nice to meet you all, and thank you. Uh, can I show my screen, please?
Yes, you can share your screen directly.
Okay, thank you. Can you see the screen?
Yep, everything is perfect.
Okay, thank you so much. Just I'm going to maximize the screen. Yeah. Thank you very much. And it's my pleasure to participate in this mega event with a variety of nationality. And that's why I am very much grateful to all of you, especially Natnanai, who is communicating me with by the couple of weeks. My topic is the role of museum to economic and community development. And I have focused on a particular museum in Bangladesh that is known as Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum. Um, before start my presentation, I would like to introduce myself. I am Muhammad Rifat-Ur-Rahman, a teacher of Cultural Heritage and Bangladesh Studies Department of Rabindra University, Bangladesh. That means my university is also known as the famous poet, world famous poet Rabindranath Tagore. In Bangladesh, we call him Rabindranath Tagore. And the Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum is located in Sirajganj, a district of Bangladesh. Maybe some of you already know that Rabindranath Tagore is a world famous poet, and he obtained the Nobel in 1914. And while staying in Bangladesh, particularly he used to live three places, and they had three family estates in Bangladesh. We call those houses a Jomidari house. That means landlord's house. Maybe you know, Rabindranath Tagore's grandfather was a landlord. His name is Darkana Tagore. And he was born in Calcutta, during the British colonial rule. But that time, Bengal was not divided into as a independent nation. So that is the background. So let's go to the final presentation. Rabindranath Tagore, he was born in 1861 on the date of May 7 in India, that time British colonial India, and he was died in 1941. And the museum is known as the Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum because that house was a family estate of Rabindranath Tagore, and he stayed there for several years. And now the museum is protected heritage in Bangladesh by the Department of Archaeology. So before I am going to my presentation, I would like to show the concept of museum. What is the meaning of museum? Museum basically is a, nowadays we can define it as a university that is open for everyone. And visitors and the stakeholders and the community, the society can learn many things from the museum. But in our context, in Bangladeshi context, the museum is not focused in academic arena very significantly. Rather, we just neglect the concept of museum. We have some prejudice about museum. We have just think that museum is a just a place where antiquities, they preserve the antiquities. But there is a very significant role of museum for the community, for the society, for the nationality, and for global perspective. So that's why I have emphasized on the museum, and my objective is to identify what is the role between community and the cultural heritage, particularly the museum. Maybe not only in Bangladesh, but many other countries, people used to visit and come the museum several times. And also in Shirajganj, a little upojela, a little place is known as Shahjatpur. The museum is located in that place. Uh, so many people inhabit in this area, and the community are directly or indirectly involved with the museum. This is the photo of the Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum. Though it's little house, but Rabindranath produced a lot of significant literature while staying in this house. And still, some of the pictures are preserved in the museum. So my intention was to just go through on the visitors and the community based on the museum visit. What is the relationship between them? Therefore, I have focused before the corona pandemic in 2018 and 2019. I have prepared a questionnaire that was a close-ended questionnaire, and the survey was taken almost a year long on 500 visitors from different ages, gender, occupations, and religions. So the first part was comprised demographic variables, including gender, age, education, and religion. Second part was consisted of the marital status and the visit number. And third part was comprised of residence, visit purpose, and the visit status. And the last section was consisted of the purchase item. While the visitors visit in the museum, do they buy anything from the community or the society, and how much they spend during their visit? Those questions basically included in my questionnaire, and those data I have obtained from the 500 visitors. I have analyzed through the Microsoft Excel, only just a little statistical tool. The location I have already mentioned, that the Kachari Bari Museum is located in Shahjatpur. That is an Upojela. In Bangladeshi context, we call it Upojela, under the district of Shirajganj. And the Shirajganj district is located in the north side of Bangladesh. And Nobel laureate poet Rabindra Tagore, he stayed here from 1890 to 1897 to look after his family estate at Shahjatpur. That is why he has a very significant bondings with the Shahjatpur community. It is the compound of Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum. The museum area is almost 20 or 25 decimal, though some of the portion have occupied by the locals. This is a totally abandoned part of Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum. Historical source just indicate us Rabindranath Tagore also stayed in that place, and that house was used for the official purpose. It is the statistical data from 2017 and 18 fiscal year and 18 to 19 fiscal year, how much the museum earned from the visitors. The amount collected from the visitors, this data I have collected from the Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum office. And in Bangladesh, in subcontinental context, there is the SAARC nations and the non-SAARC nations. So for the SAARC nations, visiting fee is different, and non-SAARC nations visiting fee is another. So local visitors, secondary visitors, foreign and non-SAARC foreign visitors used to visit this place many times before the pandemic. So the museum, though collected a little amount of money from these visitors, there, even though that impacts on the community. So how? That was my point. And my first question was on the visitors for the gender, and that perspective, I have collected the answers from 45% of female and 55% of male. In total, 275 male and 225 females participated in this survey. Their age was divided by some portions like 10 to 19, 20 to 34, 35 to 54, 55 to 69, and above 70. And in that context, the maximum number of the respondents was 20 to 34, and the number is 285. And the lowest number was above 70, and that portion is 15. If you look at the educational status of the visitors, 65 visitors didn't go or didn't receive any formal education. And 50 respondents used to go the university, and they have obtained the university education, or they are studying in university level. And the maximum number was 150. They have completed their higher education. And religiously, in Bangladesh, the majority is the follower of Islam, and the second portion is the Hinduism, the believer of Hinduism. In the survey, we have found that 76% visitors followed by the Islam religion and 25% Hindu religion. There are very different professionals used to visit the museum, and most of the visitors were students. Either they are studying in college, university, or various school. And there are also unemployed youth, both male and female. They used to come. They used to visit the museum. The portion was a little non-government organizations workers, 20, bankers, 20. Apparently, some businessmen, non-government official, government official, and even teachers, they used to visit Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum. If you look at the marital status, the 53% respondents were unmarried, and the 47% respondents were married. Their visit numbers mean some people visit for the first time, or some of them second to third time, some of them third to fourth time, and many people used to visit the museum more than fifth time. So if we see in the picture or image, the maximum visitors, 180, they used to visit for the first time in the museum. And the lowest portion is 100, third to fourth time, and above fourth time, they visited the museum. Residents in Bangladesh, there are 64 districts. So this name, basically for the district's name, Sirajganj is, I have already mentioned that the museum is located in the Sirajganj district. Therefore, the maximum visitors visit from these districts, the number is 175. And the lowest portion, we have found that there is a district named Gaibandha, and we found that 10 visitors came from that districts. So that means many people used to visit the museum from different districts or different parts of Bangladesh, as well as some people used to visit outside of Bangladesh. The purpose, the maximum respondents, 230, they responded that they have visited only for the visiting, nothing else. Their intention was to visit and explore the Rabindra Kachari Bari Museum. 120 respondents respond that they visited for a business purpose and as well as sightseeing. Shahjatpur is very diverse upajela. It is located beside a river named Korotwa River, and there are many natural and cultural heritage located in that site. So people used to visit this place for sightseeing and for business because in Bangladesh, loom industry is very famous, and Shahjatpur is also known as a very significant place for the loom industry, handloom especially. That's why many people visit this place for their business purpose. On visit status, I have found that 230, that is the maximum number, visit with their family members or relatives, not alone. And alone number was 25. The purchase item and amount. While visiting the visitors, they have purchased and spent a number of money. I have just mentioned here shari and lungi. If you know that the shari that wears the woman in Bangladesh, that is very common dress and very general dress in Bangladesh. So shari that produces a lot in the Shahjatpur Upazila. So people come to visit this place, and beside they buy the shari or the lungi. Lungi generally wears by the male, and that is also a national dress, one kind of national dress. Though we don't have the code of national dress, but it is commonly used by the local people and the common people. So the highest number was 10%. 10 people spent a lot of money for buying the shari lungi for their business purpose, and they also visit this place to fulfill their aspirations to visit Rabindranath's memory. People also spend money for food purpose, and some people like and some not some, and almost half portion people spend nothing during their visit. So, what is the basically role that impacts on the community and the culture based on the museum? First of all, I have explored that it is very important to involve the locality or inclusion the locals with the museum. If the locals involved directly with the museum, then they will take a good initiative to look after the heritage, as a museum is not a property only for the community or the nationality. It is a heritage that means very significant in global perspective. That's why when local directly involved with the site or heritage, that will be preserved, and already I have mentioned that some people or some visitors from outside of Bangladesh visit or used to visit in Bangladesh or some museum, especially the personal name like Rabindra Tagore. He is a very well-known person in global perspective. So therefore, some tour operators or tourist guides are very essential to explain the historical context of Rabindranath Tagore to the visitors outside the Bangladesh. Finally, they need some training, like to explain the heritage, to explain the archaeological significance, and as it is a heritage, the first condition should be well preservation. The well and proper preservation can be a safety measurement for the museum. So local must need to have a strong involvement with the museum, as sometimes local think that they are not engaged with the museum. Therefore, they ignore it. Therefore, sometimes unintentionally, they destroy the museum's character. So the locals are not very wealthy. If they have some opportunity to earn some money based on the museum, then the awareness will be increased. So I have recommended to our policy maker to involve the locals with the museum, and otherwise, and apparently, a large portions youths are unemployed in Bangladesh. So when the community involved with the museum directly as tourist guide or the caretaker, then they will have the opportunity overcome from the unemployedness. And finally, a local is the basic stakeholder of a cultural heritage. When they feel that uh, the museum or the heritage they own by them, then they will take initiative to preserve the heritage properly. And that is the conclusion of my presentation. And thank you very much.